Hey you guys, today I'm going to share with you 10 easy and healthy snack ideas, starting with these chickpea cucumber bites. So this spread is one of my favorites because it's only 2 ingredients, incredibly simple, and it's delicious. You can whip it up in about 1 minute, super simple. So we're going to blend together chickpeas and then some vegan mayo. I only ended up using about half of the mayo that's in this bowl right now, so you only need a little bit to make it creamy. You can use this spread in so many different ways. Here I'm putting it on cucumbers, but I also like to use it as a vegetable dip. That's really good too. You could add some spices or some fresh herbs like cilantro into this, but this on its own just as a base is delicious as well. So I absolutely love candied nuts, but the kind that you buy at the store is usually made with refined sugars, so I'm going to show you how to make a healthier version. So you're just going to grab some regular old almonds from the bulk section. Make sure you put down some parchment paper so it's easier cleanup. I didn't have any at the time. And then in a small bowl, we're going to combine a bit of coconut sugar, cinnamon, and maple syrup. Cinnamon is always great to add, not only for the flavor, but it does a lot for our bodies as well. It has one of the highest antioxidant activities out of all the foods in the entire universe, and in turn it reduces inflammation and oxidative stress. It's just really good for us. Just gonna add in that maple syrup, and then I just stir this all together. We're going to mix this into our almonds and then bake this at 350 degrees for around 7 to 8 minutes. Just keep an eye on them and make sure they don't get too dark or burnt. I just made a small little batch because I actually always have a bag of these in my pantry. I just make them ahead of time and they're a good little snack when I want something sweet. So of course I've always heard of kale chips, but I actually didn't start making them until about 2 months ago. I kind of thought that they were going to be hard to make, but after I made them once and realized how simple they were, I can't stop making them now. I'm going to share with you my 3 tips on getting absolutely perfect kale chips every single time. The first thing you're going to do is just tear the leaf away from the stem. My first tip is to make sure that your kale is super dry before it goes into the oven, so I always take a paper towel and I pat it down just to make sure I get all that moisture out of there. My second tip is to make sure that you go easy on the oil. For a layer like this, I use about 1 teaspoon. You really don't need a lot for them to get crispy. Finally, before I throw them into the oven, I make sure that I massage the oil into the folds of the kale. This will make sure a thick layer doesn't just sit on top, and it will make them really crunchy. Everyone's oven is different, so you may have to play around with the times, but for me and my oven, 365 degrees for 8 minutes makes the perfect kale chips. And that's it, super easy. To eat these, I throw a little bit of Himalayan salt on there or some nutritional yeast. That's delicious too. This one is pretty unique. I first saw sweet potato toast in Health magazine actually when I was waiting at the dentist, but it's basically the idea of using sweet potato instead of bread, and it's actually really good. So to do this, you're gonna cut a sweet potato lengthwise. This was actually pretty tricky to do, so if you're younger, make sure you have a parent that's gonna help you out. While I have nothing against bread, I love this idea of using sweet potato because it has some really great properties. It's really high in beta-carotene, aka vitamin A, which helps in our vision, and it has lots of vitamin D too, which works with calcium to build our strong bones. So every toaster is going to be different, but for mine, I turn it up to high, and then when I toast it through twice, the sweet potato is fully cooked. So I recommend turning your toaster up to the highest setting and then toasting it through 2 to 3 times. Just check if it's cooked in between the rounds. There are so many different ways that you can top these, but I decided to go with the chickpea spread that I showed in the first snack, and then topped that off with some sesame seeds. And then for the other one, I did avocado and chili flakes. Let me know in the comments if you've tried these before and what you put on top of it. This delicious tropical shake is super simple to make, and you most likely have these things on hand. So what you're gonna need is 1 ripe banana and then 2 oranges. They're pretty large. You're gonna whip this up with some water and then a splash of vanilla. It is delicious and it only takes about 2 minutes to make. This next one is my best friend's favorite way of eating her popcorn. It's delicious and incredibly easy. All you're gonna need is some plain old popcorn, some nutritional yeast, and then some paprika. So I just finished up my final exams at school, and we actually learned a ton about nutritional yeast. It is loaded with a whole bunch of vitamins and minerals like folate and B12, and these play major roles in energy metabolism, so things like cell division and growth. This helps our body in building muscle and healing wounds, things like that. This is a great, healthier alternative to regular popcorn, which is usually loaded with butter and salt for flavor. This next one you would have seen earlier this year in one of my What I Eat in a Day videos. It is one of my absolute favorites. All you're gonna do is warm up 2 tortillas. I usually use whole wheat, but I only had white on hand, and then simply just smash some avocado on top. It's essentially replacing the cheese in a quesadilla with avocado. It's super simple, I know, but it tastes so good, especially with some lime on top of that, and then add a little bit of Himalayan salt. It's delicious. This next snack is an instant chia seed pudding that takes about 5 minutes to make, and I just layered mine with some mango. So usually for chia seed pudding, you mix it all together and then wait for it overnight or at least a few hours to turn into the pudding texture. But to get instant chia seed pudding, just blend your chia seeds with your almond milk or whatever kind of milk you're using on a high speed for about 1 minute. I am layering mine with a mango cream that I made by simply mixing together some mango with a bit of coconut milk. I like this method because although it doesn't get as thick as it would if you left it overnight, it still has a similar texture without having to wait so long. By the way, I also added some vanilla and a splash of maple syrup into the chia seed pudding. Gives it a really nice flavor. This last one is another incredibly simple one. I never thought of this before, and then one of my friends told me it was her favorite snack while she's studying, so I gave it a try and now I'm absolutely hooked. While editing this, I just got up to make it. So that is how good it is. It's so simple. All you're gonna do is spread a bit of peanut butter on a few dates. It's a really great midday energy boost, and the sweetness of the dates with the peanut butter is amazing. And there are 10 healthy and easy snack ideas. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know if you give them a try. I'll see you in the next video.